Sir.
Okay, so how is the other classes going on?
Good.
Okay. If it is good, that's good. Okay, perfect. So I hope you guys watched the last video and you got in track of what we did so far. So yeah, just to give you a small recap on what we went through last week. So we finished at the point where we talked about what is a variable and why we need a variable, and we talked about these points about the variables, identifiers, and we didn't start off with the arithmetic operators. That is where we are going to start from today. Okay, so as you guys know, all these things are actually made of multiple different types of calculations, right? So let me, before we start it, I'll just show you a quick video. Hold on. Give me 1 second. So this was something NVIDIA recently announced. So they are introducing something called physical AI. Okay, so now you might ask why we are learning about these algorithms. So these algorithms works in a specific way similar to this one. Okay, so just check this video. It's just a small video, but let's see how it works. I hope you can hear the sound. You can hear the sound, right?
Yes, sir.
For 60 years, Software 1.0, code written by programmers, ran on general-purpose CPUs. Then, Software 2.0 arrived, machine learning neural networks running on GPUs. This led to the big bang of generative AI, models that learn and generate anything. Today, generative AI is revolutionizing $100 trillion in industries. Knowledge enterprises use agentic AI to automate digital work.
Hello, I'm James, a digital human.
Industrial enterprises use physical AI to automate physical work. Physical AI embodies robots like self-driving cars that safely navigate the real world, manipulators that perform complex industrial tasks, and humanoid robots who work collaboratively alongside us. Plants and factories will be embodied by physical AI, capable of monitoring and adjusting its operations, or speaking to us. NVIDIA builds 3 computers to enable developers to create physical AI. The models are first trained on DGX. Then, the AI is fine-tuned and tested using reinforcement learning physics feedback in Omniverse. And the trained AI runs on NVIDIA Jetson AGX robotics computers. NVIDIA Omniverse is a physics-based operating system for physical AI simulation. Robots learn and fine-tune their skills in Isaac Lab, a robot gym built on Omniverse. This is just one robot. Future factories will orchestrate teams of robots and monitor entire operations through thousands of sensors. For factory digital twins, they use an Omniverse blueprint called Mega. With Mega, the factory digital twin is populated with virtual robots and their AI models, the robots' brains. The robots execute a task by perceiving their environment, reasoning, planning their next motion, and finally converting it to actions. These actions are simulated in the environment by the world simulator in Omniverse, and the results are perceived by the robot brains through Omniverse sensor simulation. Based on the sensor simulations, the robot brains decide the next action, and the loop continues, while Mega precisely tracks the state and position of everything in the factory digital twin. This software-in-the-loop testing brings software-defined processes to physical spaces and embodiments, letting industrial enterprises simulate and validate changes in an Omniverse digital twin before deploying to the physical world.
Okay, so I know it's a bit of a complex video, but this actually shows you so in the video you saw that they talk about this thing called omniverse. Okay, so the idea behind the omniverse is to basically save and build robots with a certain instruction set. So now last week we talked about this simple instruction where you make a peanut butter sandwich, right? But now a robot is actually using much more complex instructions, right? Not like simply creating a simple peanut butter sandwich. No? So now here the reason is, so whatever the algorithm which we are using, so the core is actually based on these points. Okay. So, sorry. Yeah. So we have the variable, we have an identifier, and we have the arithmetic operators to basically calculate it. Yeah. We'll look at, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I hope you got that point. අර මේ වීඩියෝ එකේ තිබුණා මේ omniverse. Did you see that point called omniverse?
Oh, sir.
Yeah, omniverse එකේ මරු concept එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් ඉස්සර මේ now these algorithms මෙහෙම algorithm එකක් හදනානේ. So this algorithm has to be evaluated by someone. So ඉස්සර ඔක කරේ you build a robot and what you do is you train the robot. So you let the robot run in a field or to do some specific action and so on and so forth. So you basically push the robot to perform different actions. Now with Omniverse, what they did was they actually made a method, an artificial intelligence system where they can actually run these algorithms through a system itself. Okay? Again, example එක මේ algorithm එක robot එකකටම ඒක run කරගන්න දෙනවා. එතකොට robot එකකටම පුළුවන්, robot එක්කෙනාටම පුළුවන් ඒ algorithms එක run කරලා එයා ඒක test කරලා එයා ඒක check කරන්න. එයාට ඒක read කරන්න. Anyway, so I just want to show you guys what we are getting ourselves into. So this is the fundamental points about this whole thing. Okay, so any questions? All good?
No, sir.
Perfect. Can you on your camera? Is it working?
Yes, sir.
පුළුවන් නම් on කරන්න. එතකොට මේ confused වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. So now primarily we have the arithmetic operators. Okay, so whatever said and done, all these robots and all these actors, they work on a simple set of arithmetic operators, right? So I hope you all already know all these operators for the moment, right? So we have the addition, we have the subtraction, we have the multiplication, right? And we have the division, so we use it to divide. So these are the basic arithmetic operators, as well as we have the division, which is also known as the div, which is also known as the quotient, but it's basically similar to like division. Okay, and you also have the mod. Mod means the modulus. So modulus means basically the remainder, right? So when you take the modulus, what you get is actually the remainder of that particular amount. Okay, that is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we have the exponent also. This is basically for the calculations of powers. Yes, exactly. So we will be doing some calculations later on, but let's jump into the key points and let's focus on this. Okay, now last week I briefly explained you guys what about the idea behind a variable. So now we first need to understand why we need variables, right? So if we take a variable is something which will basically store some data, right? Nothing special, it's just there to store a particular data set. Now there are different types of variables, but in order to make it easy, shall we shall we do a small practical? So let
Okay,
me
sir.
let me show you a website. Okay, let's change my camera into, sorry, let's change my camera into the second scene 2. Okay, now open up a browser and do a Google search as JS Online, JavaScript Online. Okay, and you should be able to find this page. Shall I send this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got the page, right? Nice. Okay, so here this will actually allow you to test JavaScript on the browser itself. Okay, you can run JavaScript and try this out. So JavaScript is one of the easiest languages to learn because it's all straightforward, and mainly it's simple as well, right? So the method to follow up is quite easy. Okay, let's build a small application and let's see what this variable is. Okay, so in this case, when we say it's a variable is basically a specific point of data which you will use to save some values in it, right? Okay, so in JavaScript you can easily define a variable or නිකම් variable එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් using this keyword called let. හරි, so let's type let. Stop this. Quit. Turn off. Okay, now if you, okay, so let's first check whether this works. So if you click on run, it should run and it should show you whatever which is the text which is here. Hurry, make it try කරලා බලමු. It works. Dhamma.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you get the output, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
let's try this out. So let's change this to hello world or something. Yeah, let's change it to hello world and let's click on run, and again you should be able to see the output.
Yes, sir.
Nice, perfect. Now let's create a variable and see. Okay, මොනවද හදන්නේ අපි හදමුද? Okay, 1 second. Yes, okay, so shall we create a variable? Let's create a variable called මොකද හදන්නේ අපි හදමුද user කෙනෙක් අපි හදමු profile එකක්. Okay, so let's create. So in JavaScript,
Recording in progress.
yeah, in JavaScript when you want to create a variable, all you need to do is you just need to use a word called let. හරි, අපි let එක ගැන පස්සේ කතා කරමු once we get into some programming, but I'm just going to show you this in an easy way. හරි, okay, now we can create a variable called name. හරි, and then once this variable is enabled, now you can actually put a string and you can put your name there. Okay, now copy this name and put it inside the console.log like this, and if you run the code, you should be able to see your name. See, can you try this out?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
My name is Rauzan. This is for my first class.
Okay, Razan, how are you?
I am fine. Thank you.
Good, perfect. So, Ramzan, we actually started the class last week and you can find the video online. I will share it on the WhatsApp group as well. So, we covered up to the point of algorithms. Now we are talking about programming. We just started about programming and just to understand variables and so on and so forth. So, we are in the process of trying out this variable thing. Are you in front of a computer or you are using a phone or a tab?
Sorry?
Yeah. Are you?
Pardon?
Sorry. Yeah. Are you using a computer, a PC?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Perfect. Can you try this out as well?
Okay.
So just go to Google. I already sent you this link on the chat as well, on the Zoom chat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you can try it out there. Binlaka, මොකද වැඩද? All good?
Yes, sir.
Right? It works, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how you type JavaScript. Huh? It's quite easy. So shall we try out another few variables? Um, shall we add an age as well?
Okay, sir.
So let's add age and මගේ වයස දාන්න හොඳ නෑනේ. I'll put as 20. Okay. Now so since I want to print the age as well, I can print it as like this. Name age. Now if I run, you should be able to see the number. How is it?
Works?
It works, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice, perfect. Okay, now you see this is how this whole process works. So what you do is you get a user input, some sort of input, and what you do is you send it to the variable, right? And then that variable stores your data, and then that data is being or can be used at any certain point. Okay, let's try out one more thing. I think JavaScript prompts doesn't work there, no? Yeah, it doesn't show the prompts. Okay. Anyway, so we'll just we can jump back. So also Binlaga and Razan. So remember this particular tool,
Yes, sir.
programmix.com. This actually gives you all the programming languages. Huh? You can
Okay.
you have Python, you have Rust, you have SQL, you have HTML, CSS, you have Java, C, C++, C Sharp, JavaScript, Go, PHP, and Swift, and also Rust. So all these
Okay, sir.
all these applications are actually available. So you can actually run it and see. So you can literally run Python here. You don't have to install Python on your machine. Okay, so I will be using, I'll be continuously using this particular platform this one and another platform to teach you guys about how programming works. Okay, so Binlaga, I hope you got the base idea.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay. So now naming. Okay, so that's the idea behind the variables. Okay, now how it works is now we are basically using the variables to set a value. So this value will be actually stored in the system, right? And it will basically make sure you can access it from any part of the system, right? And this will allow you to store data or any different data sets into this variable so that you can use it. On the other side around, we have another type of a variable, but we don't call it a variable, we actually call it as a constant. Okay, so what's the meaning of constant?
Opposite of variable?
Not exactly. A variable is something. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. In a way, yes. But what's the meaning of constant? මොකද ඉතින්? So ideally the meaning of constant is that it won't change, right? So we say if something is as it is without changing, we say it's a constant, right? He is constantly doing this. අපි කියන්නේ මෙයා කියන එක අහන්නේ නැහැ, මෙයා හැමදාම මේ එකම දේ කරනවා කියලා. Or we say we are not changing, right? So constant, yes. So constant is basically, yes, as it says, opposite of variable. But how it works is, it works as a let's say something like a small container where it will hold a value, and that value will be same throughout the system. That value will never change. Okay, even if you want that value to be changed, you can't change it, because if you try to change it, the system will then tell you a warning saying, hey, this value is a constant, you are not supposed to change. So question, why do we need constants? Monarda, just think about a point where we might have to use a constant. Any?
Identify in the same way throughout an algorithm.
Yes. Okay. තව ටිකක් simple answer එකක් දෙන්න බෑ. Okay, think about a system where we have a value which we don't want anyone to change. And if when we get into that type of a scenario, obviously the only available option for us will be to use that on a constant. Let's say you want let's say you are going to create a system where you're creating an algorithm where every value is going to be divided by 2, and you're writing the code. But if at a certain point, if somebody changes that value, අපි 2 එක දාලා lock කරනවානේ. If somebody changes that value, then we are going to get into a problem, right? That would break the entire algorithm. You get the idea?
Yes, sir.
So if the value has to be fixed, then we use a constant to make sure that it has a locked value. So now when we are defining variables, we do have few methods of defining. Okay, now this is the tricky part when it comes to this module, guys, because this is where we talked about this pseudo code, and this is where we talk about these naming conventions. Okay, so the naming conventions, now we have few methods of ways of actually adding a name to this. Okay, so now every variable, each variable and constant in an algorithm has to have its unique identifier. Okay, so if the identifier is repeated, then what happens? මොකද වෙන්නේ එකම identifier එක දෙපාරක් ආවොත්? Yes. What do you think will happen? Okay, let's try it out. So if I enter the same value here, okay. So if we let's get the JavaScript again, and in the JavaScript, let me use the same identifier and see. Okay, so I'm getting name, and let's say I'm putting as Vipula, and if I use the same identifier again, here I'll call it as John. Okay, now if I run this, let's see what happens. Yeah, so see the error. What's the error says? Binlaga, can you see the error?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just read the error and see. It says the identifier name has been already declared. Right? So you technically cannot declare the same name multiple times in a script. It won't let you do that. Even if you try to do it, sometimes what happens is it will, okay, so there is a different way of doing this. Okay, now I try to declare it, but if I do it like this, now see what happens. So what I did was I add the same value, but here, can you understand the code? මම මොකක්ද කරේ කියලා පේනව නේද? මේකේ. So I created a variable called we put name and add the value Vipula to it, and then I use the same variable name and add the value John. හරි? So what will be the output? මොකද හිතන්නේ? When I run this, output එක මොකක් වෙයිද? Rauza, what do you think?
It will be a error.
Error, is it? Is it an error? Okay, let's see.
I don't know anything, sir.
Okay, Rauza, have you done any programming before?
Before I done only C#.
Okay. So this is almost same. So in C# also you can define a variable. No? So once you define a variable, you do have the option of using the same variable and adding a value to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Billaga, did you note what happened? The value got replaced. Got the idea? So
Yes, sir.
if you try to use the same thing, this is what's going to happen. So if the same name is defined, then that's what's going to happen. But let's say if we have something else, let's say if I try to redeclare this using let, okay. So if I try to redeclare the variable, then if I run this, now I am trying to create the same variable twice. Then if I run this, yes, we are going to get the error saying it's already defined. Okay. Now that's why we talked about that point. Okay, so naming conventions. Another important point to learn about. Okay, so when you're creating variables, as you just saw, the variable must have a unique identifier. Okay. Also, it is important to choose the descriptive names for identifiers. Okay. So names for identifiers means you have to make sure that whatever the name which you choose is exactly describing what it is. Okay. So let's say if we go back to our example, we are talking about a name here, right? So without adding name, if we change this to something else, let's say if we change it to car, or so we can do something like human, but we are not supposed to put something like a car, right? Oops, sorry. Right? So the variable name has to be particularly important in that case. I hope you got the point. Any questions? All good? Okay. Super. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so that's how you create the variable name, and then we'll jump into the so the name, sorry, my bad. So the name has to be unique, and also it should be having something like a unique identifier. Now in this case we can call it the name, or basically you can call it the first name or something like that, where it will continue to have a possible, like a probable meaning to it, right? Okay, and then naming conventions for variables. Yeah, so that's the condition. Now let's see what are the sensible ways of uh, adding the naming convention. Now example is, if you take a first name, so the first name and the second name must be written something like this, right? So you can see the first name and the second. So these are two variables.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry. Yes.
Is I don't have books, so I can't study in computer science.
You don't have this book. Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Uh, Give me 1 second. Can I send you this book?
Okay.
Let me send this. I'll send you all the books I have. You are in the WhatsApp group, right? IGCSE. Did you get it?
Sir,
I
wait a
just
minute, I will check.
Sure. I just sent it on the WhatsApp group with all the details are there.
Sure.
Okay. You could have told me at the beginning itself, then I would have shared it. Okay, shall I continue?
I can't get that PDF. Now I get. Okay.
Okay. So I sent you all the PDF
Okay.
files. Everything is there with
Okay.
all the details.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay,
Sure
sir.
thing.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So we can. So I'm going through this one. So we are currently on the 10th. Sorry, we are currently on the 18th page. Okay. Perfect. Binlaka, are you on track? All good?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes. Yes, Ralph.
Where I can book this book?
I did you receive all the files on WhatsApp?
Yes, I received the files, but I want this physical book. So, where I can buy this book?
Okay. So physical books, there are a couple of places you can buy it. Sarasavi bookshop, they have it. McKean's bookshop, they also have it. And I'll do something like this.
Sir,
Yes, Bill. Go on.
we can print the PDF now.
Exactly. I was just going to suggest you that. So since I sent you the PDF, you can
You
actually
also
get
print
it.
my book in PDF.
You got it printed, is it? That's good.
Can you show that printed book?
That's good. Quality is also good. Can you show the inner page? See, it's good.
Where is that
Printed
book?
in black and white.
Can you show that book? I can't. Okay.
That's good.
Can you show the cover page?
It's the same book like as we use right now, right? Yeah, it's the same one. Computer science.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually easier. So that we can. So I think that would be, in a way, it would be cheaper as well to get it printed. Otherwise, it will cost you a certain amount of money to get it get it delivered to your home. So that's there. Okay, shall I jump to the next part?
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, so I yeah, so let's quickly jump to the next. Okay, so now we have a bit of a pseudocode algorithm to write on, but let's jump to the next part and then we'll get to the pseudocode at the end so that we can see what this is. Okay, so we got the checkpoint and now we are actually in the point about creating algorithms. So we just discussed about this briefly last week about the variables. Now you guys know what our variables is. Okay, so now here there are some words you guys need to learn. Right? So if you have a highlighter or a marker, please do highlight these words, guys, because these are really important. Okay, number one is the construct. Okay, so
Wait a minute.
sure, take your time, Milaga. No problem.
Sir, can you tell me the page number?
This is the page number is 12. Page number is 12. If you refer the PDF, then it is page number 21 in the PDF.
Okay, sir.
Nice. Okay. So now we have three major keywords which is being used throughout the rest of your programming modules. Okay, so primary one is the point called the construct. So the construct, what it says is, this is basically the part where it will build something. Okay, we call it either the construct, or in programming we use the term called the constructor. So the constructor, what it does is, it literally creates an application, or it creates the app itself. Okay, so since Ravzan have been developed, sorry, you have done C sharp. So in C sharp you have the application, the main method, right? So the main method is the construct that allows you to build the application. Okay, so remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the selection. So the selection is basically the construct that will make the choices. So that's basically the point where it will use to make choices, or make different choices of alternative paths. So which path has to be traveled, something like that. You guys will understand it once we jump in. Okay, and the next point is the iteration. So the iteration is it's again a construct, which means the process. Okay, so what type of an iteration, what type of a loop which has to run so that it will perform a certain set of actions. Okay, so the keyword is, an action is repeated until a condition is met. Okay, so the action is literally getting repeated until a specific condition is met, or a particular outcome is reached. So it is often referred to, now in this case we call it as a loop. Okay, so I hope this text is clear. So if you guys can, please do highlight this, because all these three keywords are important. Okay, now Okay, shall I continue?
ഇല്ല വിളിച്ചടിക്ക് ഫോങ്ങളെ അലമ്പിട്ട് ഞങ്ങളെ
Yeah, okay. So, now when we start this, okay, now you will see now there was a kind of like an ambiguous statement in the algorithms of basically making this cup of coffee thing. Okay, ambiguous statements means now there are like fill. So this is what I explained to you guys last week. So even if we went through the process, we just looked at the big picture of the whole thing, right? So we talked about like example is in the process of making a cup of coffee, we have the statement where it says fill the kettle with water and add coffee to the cup, right? Yeah, it's okay, but it's still it's a vague way of telling what to do, right? Because you have multiple, like you have a lot of different sub actions which has to follow. So for a human, yes, you can understand it, but for a system or for an application, that's not going to work out, right? So now, because of that reason, what we need to do is,
excuse me sir,
yes, shoot.
can you explain again in the uh, selection?
You mean this part?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So the selection is, yeah. So the selection is basically now when you're like starting the application and running the application, you get certain points of a selection of actions. Example is, let's say you have different choices to make, right? So that means technically those are like conditions. So you do X and then you get into a condition, you can select which path you want to follow. Got the idea? All good? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let's jump into this one. This
Uh,
so you will understand when you read this. So see now we are talking
okay
about
sir.
this. Okay, so just to show Rauzan what we are talking about. So when we go up, if you go into page 5, you can see that under page 5 we have a point called displaying an algorithm, where we talk about a simple process of making a cup of coffee. So please do watch the previous classes video, because in that I really go in depth and explain this. Okay, now since
Okay.
just to give you a brief idea, so we have this algorithm of making a cup of coffee. So even when we
Okay.
call it an algorithm, it's just a simple process. So in this case, we fill the coffee we fill the kettle with water. Then we turn on the kettle, place coffee in the cup, wait for the water to boil, then pour the water into the cup, and then we add milk and sugar, and then we stir. And you got a cup of coffee, right? Now,
Okay.
now what we are doing is we are breaking down this cup of coffee process into sub sections. So now what we just went through before is actually a full high level process. Now okay, let's example is, now let's say Razan, if you tell your mother or father on how to make a cup of coffee, you can tell what we just saw right now, right? You can just vaguely say, please keep a kettle and boil some water, get XYZ things done, and put it together, and so forth, right? But then again, when it comes to a computer program, you do not have the luxury to do that, right? So in this case, you have to make sure that you talk about each and every step in depth, right? So this is how it works. Now here you can see what we did was we split it into small parts. Now, see, you can see the human can understand these instructions or what it means because they keep checking, right? So we can keep checking over and over and check if the water is boiling, and we can make sure that the kettle won't overheat. Example, okay, so we are talking about these 2 points now. So now let's say if we take this option, fill the kettle with water, add coffee to the cup, and next wait for the water to boil, right? So when we say wait for the water to boil, now you can tell that to your parents. So like I can now tell Binlaga, hey, wait for the water to boil. And as you know, you will be, so in order to perform that action, what you have to do is you have to keep a kettle on the stove and look at it and make sure that it won't overboil or it won't spill out, right? But the problem
Okay.
is now think we are trying to get a robot to do this thing. The robot doesn't have that data set, no? Right? So for the
Yeah.
robot, we have to be exactly accurate about what exactly we need it to do. So what can happen? So a computer, sometimes it can just wait, right? And sometimes it can wait forever. So where the water can like boil and there's a chance for the water to evaporate as well, right? Or even worse, if the algorithm doesn't like, if you haven't clearly mentioned what to do or how to tell the water was boiling, then the system will basically doesn't understand it, right? Okay, let me ask you a question. I'll make this simple. Okay, I'll ask it from Binlaka first. Binlaka, how do you say what is boiling? How do you know what is boiling?
By the sound,
Sound. Okay, and what else? Tavana,
temperature,
you can't check the temperature, no.
the robots can
No. I mean you. I mean your user. Like when you go to the
sounds
kitchen,
and bubbles,
sound and bubbles, and what's the next point?
steams.
Steam, exactly. So you have those three. So now you have those three in your memory, right? So in your brain, you know, if it bubbles, if it has the sound, if it is throwing out steam, then the water is boiled, right? You have those
Well, yeah.
conditions, right? Okay, perfect. Then,
But the
yes,
program is we want to include all the details.
correct. But the thing is, now, okay, so, Rawzan, tell me this answer. So, now, if it is, let's say, if you are building a robot, right, what would be
Okay.
the easiest thing? Will it be okay? So, let's say if you want to build a robot where you want to monitor the temperature of water, what would be the easiest flow to do that? Will it be setting up a camera or setting up a microphone or setting up a sensor to get the water temperature? What do you think?
Setting up a sensor.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
sensor?
Yes, exactly. Setting up a sensor would be the easiest, right? So that
What
means,
is the
yes, sorry.
name of the sensor?
These are okay. So for this, we can actually use a temperature sensor. Just a
Uh,
temperature sensor or a heat sensor, and you can
uh,
actually get it done. So heat sensors are everywhere. So you do have a lot of. So I technically can't show you this because even inside an AC there is a small diode like a sensor where it senses the room temperature. Likewise, okay. So back to
okay.
this one. So now we are telling this to a computer on how to build this. So straightforward, we start, then we fill the kettle with water, and then we turn on the kettle. After that, now we get into a selection. So in this selection, we jump into a condition. So what's the condition? Is the temperature of water is equals to 100 Celsius. Okay. So we need to put this in. Otherwise, the computer or the robot will never be able to find out what's exactly going on. Right? So this gets into a selection and this goes into a loop. And when this becomes true, as long as this is negative or false, that means it will repeat. It will start looping in this particular repeat cycle. So it will check yes, no, whether the temperature is 100, no, go back, again come back and see whether the temperature is 100, no, go back, and once it's 100, then it jumps into yes, which will then we have to turn off the kettle. Right? So turn on the kettle and turn off the kettle and then pour the water into the cup. Right? So this is where we get the conditions and the selections.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, shoot.
This the one is missing in this diagram.
Yeah, what is?
The first is start, the last is finish. This is not put on this diagram.
Ending.
Yes,
Ending.
yeah, the ending is down. So now,
Aha,
no, this is
okay.
basically we are talking about the top part of the iteration. So we talk about the kettle and that particular thing. Okay, so let's go to the next part and
Okay.
we'll see what it is. So now, then at the and this thing, this is what I just explained about the representation, where we basically talk about the iteration. So you iterate and you go through the flow and you check and go back, right? Okay, now we need to try out a small algorithm like this to check if this condition is true. Okay, so we do have a activity. So in this activity we are checking if a test score is greater than 80. Okay, so we check if the test score is greater than 80, we send an A to display, right? Else, if the test score is less than 70, test score is greater than or equals to 70, then we display B, greater than equals to 60, then C, and likewise. Okay, so shall we try
Okay.
this?
Sir,
Yes.
can I play in this programming in my laptop?
Yes,
Is it
yes, please, yes.
is it work?
Yeah, so let me show you guys a method of trying this out. Hold on. So,
Okay. Okay, that website is not working.
what happens?
So after I finish my class, I will try to do this work.
Yeah, okay. So let me give you guys another tool. There is a site called online pseudocode. Okay, pseudocode edit online. This one. So I will share this link with you as well. Hold on, zoom. Okay, nice. Now in this guys, we can actually type something here and we can run the code and see how it works. So here, so we have a print. We have a print statement. Okay, now if I run the code, see what happens. You get that printed out, right? So here in this case, you can actually now write some pseudocode. Okay, Binlaka, do you have access to this? I sent it on the chat.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay. So, shall we try this out?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can I do this programmings in my Visual Studio? In
Yes,
Visual
of course.
Studio.
Of course, yes. Yeah. Then, without getting into pseudocode, shall we do it using, do you know Python? Um, Python browser. What are you familiar with?
No, sir. Only C sharp is my familiar.
Okay, C sharp. Okay, nice. We can use C sharp as well, but what I thought was using Python is actually easier. Okay, shall we do something like this? Both
C
of
sharp is very difficult.
yeah, Python actually it's easy for you to learn also. Okay, let's do it like this. Um, collab, Google. Can you guys go to Google Collab? I'll send the link. Let's let's start it from here. That's easy. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Just let me know. When log you also log in. Try it and see. All good? Okay?
Wait a minute, sir.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay, sir.
Nice. Okay. So when you go here, you would end up in a page like this. Okay. Here you can actually click on file. You need to log in with your Gmail address. Huh? You have an address, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice, perfect. Okay, so you can click on new notebook in Drive and it will create you a empty Google notebook, collab notebook. Okay, so give it a second. It will basically generate something like this. Okay, now you would be given with a code view, something like this, where you can type some Python codes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What are the programming codes in the Edexcel computer science subject?
Edexcel, you have all three. You have Python, you have C sharp, as well as you have Java. So you can
Uh,
select either one of the languages. But what I suggest is it's quite easy to go forward with Python because you don't have to set up anything. You can use any of these online portals such as this one, and then you can use on it.
so,
That's
so my exam, I want to use only one subject, one
one programming
language.
language exactly. Yes, correct.
What is the very easy language? Python?
So when it comes to the learning point of view, Python is the easiest. Python is actually
Okay,
quite straightforward to learn.
okay.
Okay, so let's quickly try to do this example and
More than I am C sharp is very difficult. More than two years I study in C sharp.
Ayyo, okay. But Python is not that difficult. Python is actually quite straightforward.
Yeah. I did, and now I didn't finish in my C sharp because some projects I have some assignments. I can't apply for the
Okay.
assignments. Yeah, that is
Oh,
very difficult.
yes, but you can actually use some details and find out how to get it done. Like, I mean, there are online um, chatbots, chat GPT is also there, right? Anyway, okay. So, yeah. So, are you in this page? Rawzan, did you log in?
No, sir, my laptop is very loading because lot of files are in my laptop. I want
Okay.
to delete that. Yeah, that is the matter.
Super. No worries.
All the files are all the files are C sharp files.
Yes. And it should be huge, large in size.
Yeah, it is compared than the C.
Yes. Binloga, are you in?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay. Can you try this out? So we just create a variable and you put your name and you can use a print statement and you can put the name variable into the print and all you need to do is just click on play and it will
What what are the languages are you teaching, sir,
I
in the
I for
Edexcel computer science?
So I will be mainly focusing on Python. Python, yeah, I'll be mainly focusing on Python because Python is the easiest and the most commonly used language when it comes to exams. Even with Cambridge, we use Python.
Uh,
Hi, Binloga, did it work?
can you teach C sharp and Java?
I can, but so for Edexcel and Cambridge, I'm actually only doing Python because that's the because
That is
okay, that's the easiest thing you can learn, man. And
Uh,
since it's being probably like used everywhere in the world, when it comes to
okay.
the value of learning is also high. Binlaga, did it work?
yes, sir.
Nice, perfect. Now you have a working uh, Python system. Okay. So now how this works is I will just briefly explain it. So what Google does it, Google actually gives you a PC, right? So here you can see when you click here, you can see actually Google me. You can see how much RAM and storage which is being allocated to you, right? So Google basically gives you a actual machine for you to run the code. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, okay, nice. Okay, so I will show you guys a few simple conditions so that we can run that code and see. Okay, now first of all, we need to get the input, right? We want to get the user's input to the system. So shall we do something like this? Let's write this down. Print. What is your name? Okay. Okay, and then let's do the same thing, but previously we did it like this. No, we added that with Vipula. No? Without doing that, let's just put it as Vipula. Okay, now I'll print it out. I'll print it out as, let's say, hello, and here, sorry, plus Vipula name. Now if I run this, see what happens. Now this is waiting for an input. See, so if I say like okay, I think I wrote it correctly, and press enter, it should give you the name hello Vipula. Right, can you try this out? So this is the simplest way of getting users input into a variable. Rauzan, did it load up?
Yes, sir, I'm trying. It can't work.
Why? Did you go to Colab, Google Colab?
Okay, okay.
I sent you the link. Nice. I can see your page. So, Benlaga, did it work?
Recording stopped.
All good? Shall I show you the rest? Okay, so if this works, then what we need to do is we need to create another we can create another code part. Okay, so don't change what you have done here, just leave it as it is, because when you run this it should work now, right? See, it works now. Just leave the code as it is and we can create another code block. All you need to do is just click here and that would create you another code block, and here you can start writing some code again. Okay, now let's try out one more thing. So we just need to learn about a quick point about the if else condition, right? Because we in this thing in the condition we do have a set of if and else statements now to check if this thing works, right? So let's try this. Let's try writing this. So in order to, the way of writing an if else statement is, in Python we have a variable, we do have a method of defining that particular value. Okay, so let's see how it works. So if I get a number, okay, let's say if I get the number as 10, okay, now I can actually use the condition if. Okay, so similar to this, okay, we can actually get the number value, and if I run this, you can see if since here we are checking if the number is 10, you get 10. If the number is 14, you get the message number is not 14. Right? Okay, so here what we can see is, here this particular thing, what they have done is they have created a certain set of else if conditions to check if the value is in a specific range, right? So let's try this out. So what we need to do is, here we will come up with a different key term. So let's add a key term called elif. Okay, here what we do is we check if the number is else if. So we check if the number is, if it's 10, we print 10. Else if the number is 14, we print not 10. Okay, let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. So if I put it as 14, you should see that it works, right? Okay, so did you get the point so far? All good. Any questions? I hope there's no questions. Shall I write the rest of the code? Okay, so I will share this URL also, so that anyone with the link, so that you guys can actually work on this, test it out. I have put it in the WhatsApp group as well, just for the reference, so that you can find out how it works. Okay, now let's actually type this particular condition. Let's see how it works, right? So let's type this in, and let's check this algorithm. Okay, so here what we want to do is, so I'm going to create another code block. Okay, so in this code block, what I'll do is, we'll take a number in. Okay, so number equals input, and before the input I'll put a print statement, just to say please enter a number. Okay, now let's start adding the conditions. So if the number is let's say, yeah, we'll put the same condition and see. Okay, we'll put the same condition and we'll run it and see. So when you click on this, it executes. Okay, all good. And now let's say if I put a number, I'll put it as 10 and press enter. What happened? Actually nothing happened, right? That's because we have a small problem with the number conversion. So when I took the input in, now when I set it as 10, this is actually not getting a full input. Okay, now if I add this as integer, now, so we'll go through this later on. I'm just showing you how to write the algorithm for the moment, but later on I'll explain this in detail. So here what we do is, we take the input and we push that input into the int method. Inside the int method, what we do is,
Sir, we have to write it.
you can actually write this. So did you write this part?
I am writing it on my laptop.
Yeah. You don't have to write it on paper. Just type it on this
Okay.
thing.
No, we have to type it on this also.
Yeah, it will. So I'm just showing you how to do that. But after that, you can copy paste it. It's okay. Okay. So I'll just quickly show you the algorithm, so that we can continue to the next part. So here the algorithm is, we check for something like this, right? So if the value is greater than 80, so if the value is greater than 80, we print something called A, right? If the value is greater than 70, then it's B, right? So this is how we basically get the conditions done. So 60, so if it is 60, what do we print? C, right? C. And if the value is greater than 0, then D. Greater than 0, then it's D. And else print fail. Okay, now let's run this and see. So if I run up, sorry, Okay, if I put, let's say 30, I get a D because it's greater than 0, but it's less than 60, no? Right? Okay, so let's put another one. Okay, now let's check if the calculations. So what does it ask? So it's asked what would be the output of the algorithm for these test scores. So it's 91. So let's put 91 and press enter. Yes, obviously that is A, right? Because the value is greater than 80. And let's try 56. 56 and enter. Perfect, D. So why? It is less than 60 but greater than 0, right? And the last one is 78. Let's try that out as well. 78 and
E.
the value is B, exactly. So this is greater than, so 78 means greater than 70 but less than 80. I'll just copy paste this in the chat. So you can run it and see how it works as well. Put it on both WhatsApp and this thing. Okay, now actually now you learned how to do Python also. Okay, so now you got the basic things of Python up and running, and let's jump to the document again. So far, any questions? All good? Shall I jump forward? Okay, I assume it's okay. So keep this in mind. So you do get these type of questions in your papers as well, where you basically get
I can't copy paste it.
into this thing. Can you show me your screen?
From what?
You can share your screen on Zoom.
Wait a minute, sir.
Yeah, I gave all access.
Wait a minute, sir.
Sure. Nice, okay. And yeah, okay. Run the code. What is? Yeah, okay. That works too.
No, sir, it is it is not this one.
Can you copy the code directly from Zoom? Now you have to
Yeah, I
type.
can it.
Yeah, in this case you have to type something. Just just enter something and press enter. No, I mean in the input box. Sorry. Now it's still loading. No? Yeah. No, that's you can just type something and press enter. Okay, press enter. Nice. Okay, now it ended. Okay, now do something like this. Go to go to code on the top. On the top. So you have an option of adding a code. Anna Hari. Yes, click on plus. Nice. Okay, now copy the. So go to the chat. Go to the uh, Zoom chat and copy that code. Copy the last message I sent and paste it.
No, sir.
I think you're not copying it properly, man. It's not getting copied. Just try to select the entire message and copy. You should be able to select the entire message.
No, sir.
Kaddi. Hari. Okay, try this one. Click on the link I sent you. Before that, in the Zoom chat, I sent a link. Nice. Okay. So this is the fun part with collab. We can actually collaborate. So whatever the code I write, you have the option of going through it. See, now you can see. So that is my
Okay,
code.
sir.
Yeah, that is my code. Just copy this one, copy that, and try to paste it into your code and see. Copy the entire block.
Now, okay.
Now it works. Okay. Now run it and see. Nice. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So what I can say is just play around with this. Play around with it.
Okay, sir.
Learn how it works because see it's quite easy, ne? Python karana marla is okay.
Yes, sir.
You can try this out and also can I show you something? Just open up another code, get a new code block. Okay, now click on generate. Now let's write a prompt. Create a okay, type this create a code. Type it. Create a code. Spelling සවුලක් නෑ ඕන එකක් ගහන්න no problem, no worries. Create. No worries, no problem. Create a code space code CODE space to TO, sorry. Create a code to calculate TO, T එකයි to space calculate don't worry about the spellings. CALCULATI calculate. Okay, calculate let's say calculate two numbers, that's it. Just put 2 and space numbers. Okay, perfect. Now press enter. Just press enter. Cool. Oh, click there. Okay, click on it. Now press enter. And now it's generating the code. See. Now run the code and see. Enter the first number. Okay, enter the number. Just enter a number. Any number. Okay, press enter.
I enter it, sir.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, it's asking for the second number now. And it will give you the answer.
Okay.
See? That's why I said so this is the reason I said learning Python is the easiest, because now with the automated guides and all, you can basically ask the system to generate the code, and now you can read this and you can learn. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
වැඩේ හරි ලේසි ඉතින්. ඉගෙන ගන්න මාර ලේසි. All you need to do is you just need to learn how to type it properly. I mean, you don't have to worry about the spelling mistakes, but you need to ask the question properly to the point what you exactly need. Okay. So we'll be using Google Colab a lot. So play around with it. Find out, just try the generation, try and see how it works, and then during our next class, will be I'll jump into Python, and I'll show you guys how Python can be used to do all sorts of these programming points. Okay, that would be the easiest. Hurry. Okay, shall we jump back? Okay. Ask me if you have any questions, even during the week.
Okay, sir.
Even during the week, send a message on the group or just send me a direct message, and I'll be more than glad to help you out. Okay, hurry. Now, we did a bit more extensively into the programming part, but I hope it's interesting. And anyway, we'll be using this knowledge going on forward for the rest of the work we are going to do. Nice. Okay, sorting. Then we jump into sorting and searching algorithms. Okay, so you have shared your screen again.
Sorry, sir.
No problem, no problem. Okay, so sorting and searching algorithms. So perfect. Why do we need, first of all, question, why do we need sorting and searching? මොකටද ඕනේ?
To solving something
To solve something, okay, yes. But
and search algorithm.
yes, so when you look at it, in the world, whatever the action you perform, about 90% of the actions you perform, it's all related to some sort of sorting through data, right? So whatever the method you would be following, it's all about sorting and going through a certain type of data, right? Because what we have is we have multiple different types of data elements. Let's say if you go to Google, what you do, you search, right? And so this search actually allowed computers and systems to evolve a lot, because searching has become one of the most primary required points. Nice. Okay, so searching can be complex, right? Because based on the data set which we are going to search through, searching always can be complex depending on your criteria and depending on what you're trying to do. So during this module, what we are primarily focused on is about 4 different types of searching. Okay, number 1 is known as bubble sort, second one is known as merge sort, third is linear search, and the fourth is my favorite, binary search. Okay, so these are the primary types of searches we will be covering up in this particular searching and algorithm model, and these are the points which you will be questioned in your examination as well. Okay, now there are a few factors, so we have to understand how the choice of algorithms are influenced by data structures. I mean, why that type of algorithm is created, as well as we have to evaluate the fitness of purpose of algorithms in meeting specified requirements. So fitness of purpose means why we need it for that particular purpose. Can you tell me an example for fit for purpose? Any suggestion?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, let me ask you a question like this. Let's say you have a BMW and you have a Toyota Hilux four-wheel drive Jeep. Okay. Now, let's say you are going on a trip to Yala. Which vehicle you would choose?
The second vehicle.
The Toyota Hilux Jeep, right?
Yes.
And let's say you are invited to a wedding at Shangri-La. Which one would you would use? You
BMW.
will obviously say BMW. Yeah. Okay, so that's the idea behind fit for purpose. So you use it for the particular purpose. So the BMW, you don't go off road with a BMW, and you don't go to a pish posh hotel on a huge four-wheel drive truck. So that's the idea behind fit for purpose. So the whole concept behind this is we will be focusing. So when you select something, when you are selecting an algorithm, you just need to make sure that algorithm fits that particular required purpose. Okay, so before this, I know you haven't experienced it, but Facebook came up with an algorithm called the graph. The graph. So it's known as the graph. So the graph algorithm actually gave a set of different features to the Facebook system. So that was
Meta.
yeah. So this was known as the FB graph. Now it's known as the Meta graph. So how it worked was they actually didn't put it online. It was online. Podda kalayak. It was online for about couple of days or weeks, and then they removed it because they came up with a so powerful system where the search was able to give us information about multiple different points. Example is I can search. I have so let's say if both of us went to a restaurant to have something to eat, right? And let's say if we took some pictures there, I can search. Show me all the pictures of me and Binlaka at Cinnamon Grand, and that was able to show everything. So that search was really powerful there, but they didn't continue it. That was not actually put into production because I think due to couple of reasons. Because number one is safety, because anybody can search anybody then, as well as the number of data points which you can take out. Okay, so that is again type of a search. I just want to let you know that the concept so that you can get an idea. Okay, so what is it? What is that? I don't know. I don't recognize the bill though. Yeah, what's the bill?
It's from Maldives.
Maldives. Ah, okay. I've never been to Maldives. So, okay, so yeah, what is that one? Ah, okay, it's the same, right? What is there in the backside? Ah, it's a shell. Oh, okay. I other side it's a bird, no? Bird or a
No,
fish?
football player.
Ah, okay. I saw it as like a bird. A football player. Oh, Maldives and football. Ah, yes. Yes, yeah. Can see it, can see it. Okay.
I have 20 rupees also. This is 5 rupees.
Okay. What's the value of that?
5 rupees, and I have 20 rupees also.
Okay. 20. Okay. What do you call them? Maldivian rupees.
Don't. No.
It should be. I don't know what's the term for that.
currency.
Yeah, no, I mean the currency name. Do you call it in rupees or?
I don't know that.
Okay. Anyway, okay.
I got it from my father,
Okay, okay.
father's friend.
Nice. So he came from Maldives.
My father's friend, I gave it to me. I don't know about
Okay, super. So,
Maldives.
yeah. No, I lost you there.
Okay. Maldives. Okay. Maldives currency. Currency.
Not sure. Anyway, so shall we jump to this and we'll only do this part today, so then we can continue for the rest. Because for bubble sort, I want you to try this out and then we can test some things again. So okay, so let's jump back. So the first sorting algorithm we are going to go through is bubble sort. Binluka, by any chance, did you went through this at school?
No, sir.
Not yet, right?
I don't know, sir, about that.
No, man, I'm.
I'm not going to school.
Yes, sorry. I just got. Just give me like another one, one or two classes. I'm getting. I'm trying to create profiles of everyone. Now I got mixed up with Rauzan. I think he joined and he left as well. Okay, so basically, okay, so let's we'll take you through bubble sort and then we can basically jump to the rest. So super. So bubble sorting is basically as the name says, it's a it's basically sorting some set of items from ascending to descending order, ascending order or descending order. Okay, but there is a small problem.
Sir,
Yeah.
I find the currency.
What is it?
Maldivian
Maldivian.
Rufia. Maldivian Rufia.
Rupsia. Okay,
Yeah,
Maldivian Rupia.
Rufia.
Got it. Okay, okay.
One Maldivian Rufia worth 19.3 Sri Lankan rupees.
Oh man, seriously. Okay.
Yes. One Maldivian Rufia, 19.23 Sri Lankan rupees.
Okay, so it is. That's good, no?
Quite a bit of low. Quite a bit of low.
Sorry?
It is quite a bit of low.
Yeah, but then again, 19 rupees, so it's still there. Like, if you look at the economy and the power of the currency, that is much higher than us. They do have a
Yes.
let's say, they have a good
Currency.
economy in
Yeah.
the country, so that the currency value is high. Okay, so let's just go through this part and then I think we can cover up the base. Okay, so we'll talk about so we just started talking about the bubble sort. So just think about this as a simple algorithm, a kind of algorithm on how items are getting sorted back and forth. Okay, so this is how it works. Now when you sorting something in the ascending order, okay, so you get the data set and you sort it according to the ascending order. What you do is you basically keep on comparing the values from the left and the right. Okay, so this is technically how it's going to work out. So if the value, so let's say we have this thing called passes. I'll go through this in depth, but I'm just going to give you a brief idea about how it works now. So just think, if we have 5 values, හරි එදානක values 5ක් තියෙනවා, blocks 5ක් තියෙනවා. Now what we need to do is we need to sort these values according to a specific order, either ascending order or descending order. Okay, so how we do this is we use a loop and we check the pairs. Honey, in the book you can see here, so this is the first, this is going to be the first pass. Okay, so this is the first time which the loop is going to run. So in the first point we check if this value is greater than or less than the next counterpart. You got the point? හිතන්න මෙහෙම එකක්.
Yes, sir.
දැන් මෙතන තියෙනවා 4යි 2යි 6යි 6 1 3, right? 4 2 6 1 3. Now in the first pass what it will do is it will first check for the closest values. Now 4 is obviously greater than 2. That means 4 is sent to the position of 2 and 2 is sent to the position of 4. Right? And then you get the swap, and then you get the second point. Okay, so in the second pass you check and then that's the first run, and in the second line what we do is we check. So after these two are swapped we have 6 and 1, right? So 6 and 1 we again check. 6 is greater than 1. So 6 is moved here, 1 is moved back, right? And then, so this is still one pass. එකපාරයි මේ තාම run වෙන්නේ. So in this pass, and then we check 6 is, we check 6 and 3. So obviously 6 is greater than 3. තුනට වඩා 6 ලොකුයි. So ඒක නිසා ටක් ගාලා මේ දෙන්නා skip වෙනවා. හරි? So now this is one pass in the sense this is the first time we go through the number list. Then what we do is we have the second pass. So here, now the first round is done. Now we jump to the second round. In the second round, we start with something else. Now we check again. So 4 and 2, all good. We don't have to change this, right? And then we check 4 and 1. ඔන්න දැන් ආයිමත් 4 is greater than 1, right? So then these places have to swap. Okay? And then, okay, now that's swapped. Then you go down and again you see, okay, 4 is greater than 3. So 3 and 4 is going to swap. And then at the last point, 4 is greater than or less than 6. It's less than 6, right? Hold on. Yeah, so 4 is
recording in progress.
Less than 6 now. So that means that will not change. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go to another pass. Yes. What happened, Raza? So anyway, so you go into
Excuse me, sir.
yes, Raza.
My laptop is I connect in my laptop in Zoom. That is that is storage full and full, so that is off.
Okay.
So my laptop is on the shop now.
Okay. Hopefully you get it fixed soon. Okay. So yeah, Rauzan, anyway, I will upload this video tonight or best first thing tomorrow morning. So you will get access to this and you can go through the video from the beginning. I'll share all the videos on the WhatsApp group so that you guys won't miss anything.
Okay, sir. Very, very sorry. I
No
can't
problem.
continue it.
No problem. No worries. No worries. So, according to what I was talking about the bubble sort, so here you get the third pass. So for the third pass again, what we do is we will find the 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 greater than or the less than version. So here in this case, you can again see, so when 2 is taken as 1, with 1, 2 is greater than 1. So these two are going to get swapped. And then a full list of items are generated from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Right? So that's how it's going to get created. So there is a small problem in this thing. Okay. So this particular list of items, the problem is when this has to be sorted, you guys can see this loop has to continuously run, right? Because whatever the point it's going to execute through, this loop will actually run as the number of items which you have in the data set. Now here, since you have like multiple data, like 5 data points, that means this loop is going to run 5 times. Right? So that is technically what? Is it a good algorithm or a bad algorithm? What do you think?
Good algorithm.
Let's think, okay, now since we are looping through all the elements from the first one till the last one, checking if the other one is greater than or less than, then let's say if we have 100,000 elements, then it's going to be bad, right? Because it will iterate for 100,000 times. Get the point? Got the idea? I hope you
Yes,
got it. Right? Yeah, so because of that reason, it's not going to be a good algorithm. So anyway, this bubble sorting is actually a point. So bubble sorting, so it's, if you look at this carefully, if you pour some water into a cup, right? And if you look at it carefully, you can see the large items, the large bubbles, they gradually move up to the end, right? So you basically have the bubbles rising in the water, and after the first pass, the largest number of items, I mean the bubbles, will be actually on the top. Right? And likewise, so first pass you get the largest one, second time again you loop through it and you find the largest one, and this happens on each cycle, and it will get the items up, right? So this is how the system is made efficient, and it will not left anyone out of the validation. So we'll jump through this and let's understand what this is and how it works, right? So yeah, but by the way, we'll wrap it up after this part, and then next week we'll jump into the next algorithms, because we have to implement this in a way as well, just to find out how this code works. Okay, so okay, hold on. Yeah, perfect, super. So here you can see this is how technically the bubble sort algorithm works. Okay, so on the top you can see the start. Now since we know that this is getting repeated continuously until all the items are sorted, right? So that means we start, and then what we do is we check for the length of the items, and we get all the list of items, right? So let's say if the length is 100, we get the 100 items and we put it inside the list. Then we iterate, right? So the iteration is done like this. So we check in the list, we check if the item position is greater than the last item position, or greater than the list item position which is right next to it. Right? So can you see this one? So in this it says position is greater than position plus 1. දැක්කද? plus 1 එකක් තියෙනවා. So it's basically taking the pairs. You take the first one and plus 1 means the second one. And you check if it is greater. If it is greater than the next one, then you swap. Then you swap the item and then you list and you go to the next one. If it is no, then you go down and you increase the point by 1. Right? And then what happens is, we check if the position is equals to the length, the entire length of the items. If it is no, then we come back. So this is how the loop works. And then if the loop is ending, then we finish it and we end the loop there. Okay? So that's how the bubble sort simply works. Any questions so far?
No,
Okay, so I'm going to give you a small homework which you can try out. Okay, so can you try out few? Okay, so both of you know about arrays, right? Arrays and the basics of.
I don't know about.
You haven't done any arrays.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Up to what extent have you done programming, like variables and functions?
Nothing.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we can start from the beginning. Okay, so I will give you a small homework now since you got a hang of Google Collab. Can you and since I shared you the my collab, can you try out few conditions and inputs in that and get familiar with the language? I will give you some pointers on how to do that as well, and we really need to get the get an idea about the language. Also, I will be doing another video about the Python basics, so I'll share it somewhere by Monday, and you can actually go through it and learn the basics of Python as well. So by the time we meet up next week during our class, I really appreciate if you can go through it and have a basic idea about the programming flow. What do you think? Is it doable?
Okay, sir.
Okay. What about Rauzan? Are you game as well?
Yeah, I have more than 2-3 experience
Nice.
students.
Okay.
Programming is very difficult. Especially C# is very difficult, and we want lot of grind because this is very big, more than we are compare the C per C. The programming is
Yes.
a C, and we are open the blind and do the work.
Got it. Okay. No, I think what I can suggest is go forward with practice with something like Google Collab.
Google.
Yeah, Google Collab is actually quite easy. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to literally set up anything on your machine. You can entirely write all the code online. And the fun part is that is getting saved into the Google Drive itself. So whenever you want, you can continue your development from there. And that would be the easiest thing
Sir,
yet to learn.
what
Yes.
is the homework?
Yeah. So No, let me do it like this. I will share a video on Monday on the group, and I will so that video will show you all the basics of Python. So how to create a variable, how to print something, how to get an input, and so on and so forth. Okay, so just go through. So once I share that video on the group, I will explain the homework as well. So what I want you to do is just to go through it and learn the terms and to learn the concepts of typing the keywords and the code. So once you learn that, then these type of things, it's quite easy. This is like reading this and understanding this would be just a walk in a park.
At school, we do this.
Mommy.
You did it in a sense?
When they
Oh.
I do this at my school last year.
You did it at school, is it? You did it or did not?
Yes.
You did it at school.
We did this one in the normal syllabus.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. In the normal syllabus, you have the flowcharts, right? Flowcharts are there. But how come you haven't done any programming language? You all did pseudocode, is it?
No, sir. We only do word and PowerPoint only. Excel. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint only we do.
Got it. Okay.
We only do presentations.
Presentations, okay. You will have to put some time on this, Vinlaka.
Okay, sir.
There is a learning curve for you. So, but interesting, ne? Python is interesting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As long as it's interesting, it will be really easy for you to learn. So I just want to take this into a different path because I want you to learn the coding first, and then the fundamentals of coding first, and then when you jump into this one, it's quite easy to understand these flows. Otherwise, if you try to implement this flow and directly go into coding, then it's going to.
Sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I leave?
Yes. Yeah. We'll wrap it up. So let's catch back next week then.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See you then. See you. Okay.